when I was about 12 years old, I was watching the only television set in the barrio, and it's a black and white in the little shop, candy shop, and I'm looking up, and there was a commercial about a beer, local beer. It was very popular, Presidente beer. It was the prime product.
Okay.
And I was looking, and it was made in cartoon. For the first time, they were doing this commercial in cartoon. So, and I looked and I said, someday I'm gonna do that. Out of nowhere, I just say that. I know I'm gonna do that. And somebody, as I was watching, somebody came from behind and hit me in the head, and it froze me. I didn't even look back. And this is the word that I would never forget. He said, only the rich and white can do that. You don't. And I don't put that as a, I took it as a challenge.
Right.
Yeah. Because that person said, you can't.
Same business, different day.
Good afternoon and welcome back to the Same Business, Different Day podcast. I am your host, Zeke. I want to start off with a business lesson. The Same Business, Different Day podcast business lesson number 793. Business owners, you keep your head up and mind open at all times. Just as an artist may miss an inspiration if they aren't enjoying the views around them, a business owner may miss an opportunity if they don't interact with the people around them. And I had the great pleasure of interacting with this gentleman today. Our guest today, I'm very excited about, a visionary, a master storyteller, and a teacher. And one thing that this man accomplishes on a daily basis that not all of us can claim to do is that he truly enjoys his work. Same Business, Different Day audience, I want you to please welcome Elias Acosta to our show.
Thank you, Zeke, for the opportunity.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate you being here, man. I mean, you could be doing a lot of things, but you're here with us today. So, yeah.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes, thank you. So, we want to start with the personal life, you growing up and everything before we expose what you actually do for a living. We're going to keep that a secret for now. That way we can trace, how you got to where you are, So where did you grow up?
I grew up in the center of the island of the Dominican Republic. Is exactly the center of the whole island. And one side is Haiti, the other side is Dominican Republic. And just there in the center of the island, there's a little valley called San Juan.
Okay. And
San Juan de la Maguana was the the place where the chief Indians were, they controlled the whole island from there.
Okay.
It was Anacaona, who was a queen.
Okay.
And she would direct what we call today baseball games.
Okay.
From that center we're talking about way back. Until Columbus came and interrupted the whole thing. But, San Juan de la Maguana.
What was it like growing up though for you?
It was peaceful. It
peaceful,
was
really?
Very peaceful. It was, I think about that today.
Okay.
And it was like we were in a bubble. We would go to the river. We would swim. We would go to the mountain. We would run through the rice field, huge rice fields.
Okay.
And we would play baseball in the street. We would do all kinds of stuff. Everything was so safe, so clean, so beautiful.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you're right there near the water too, right?
No, I was in the center of the
You're
island.
in the center, so
I
you
didn't
weren't
see
close
the
to
ocean until I was later on in life.
Okay. That's when I hear stories of Dominican Republic, everybody's talking about the ocean, right?
Yeah, because people that live around it, we have beautiful coast there and beaches and stuff like that. But those of us who grew up in the center of the island, we were just so happy in the middle of it.
And I love that the way that you painted it like as a bubble. right?
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're living every day wondering what's going on around the world or checking the Twitter of some president who's.
Well, back then.
No, I understand, but you know what I mean. Like that's the life everybody nowadays around the world, and sometimes it's good to just find a bubble where you can just have a good, peaceful life amongst your friends and community and family.
Well, and that influences you how you grow up and how you want your kids to have the same quality of life, whatever they may be.
That's right.
Because you go back to that reference, it was beautiful.
Yeah.
So why can't we have that now? So you apply the same principle in your own home, your own kids, and you should create your own bubble wherever you're at.
That's right.
You know, and it will work.
That's a lesson right there. I love it. Oh, yeah. So did you remember early aspirations, like kind of, you know, what you were thinking about doing? Were you going to be a professional baseball player, or did you have ideas of what you thought you might do when you got older?
Everybody was into baseball.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be a baseball player. I never was. You know? So even though I play, but in my mind, I played in college. And when I came to here in the States for the college I play, and the Chicago White Sox, one of those guys went by, saw me, they want to interview me and everything. I didn't follow through. It wasn't in me. I didn't really look into that. But seeing around me what was happening was like life is so beautiful when you are in tune to the beauty of the landscape, sunshine, the palm trees, you know, the coconut trees. Like you start to paint in your mind, and then your mind take a different turn. More for the creative side of things. You know? So, you know, and I think that was the big influence, storytelling. That was a big thing.
Yeah, you felt the creative, those juices, the energy early on.
Yeah. Oh, because back then, since nobody had television in the island, the Central Island, was the older people would sit with all the kids, and they would tell stories. And storytelling was really a big thing. Yeah. And to this day, what I do at home sometimes is say, okay, give me some elements to the kid. My kid, even they are grown up already in college and everything, but they will give me the most strange combination of situation for me to create a story. So and I bounce that back to them, and they have to do the same thing. So you preserve that tradition. The oral tradition is very important.
Tell us, just give us a short of one of those, your favorite stories from growing up.
From growing up, it was Purgarcito. Purgarcito is a little guy, you know, and he would be one of those that would be very fast. But what happened was that there was a cat that had special boots. And so he could never go as fast as this cat. So one day he decided that, well, the only way I can beat him up is if I steal the boots. And then I'm going to challenge him, he's not going to be able to. But he challenged him to say, no matter, if you don't have the boots, you cannot do it. You know. And then the cat said, don't steal my boots. I want to lend you the boots. So, and the Purgarcito said, voila, I'm going to win this, you know. And so he put the boots on. And the cat said, are you ready? Yeah. So let's go. So the cats take off. Remember, the boots are the one that give him the speed and they jumping very high. But he take off and then he stopped, look back, and Purgarcito was still in the same spot with the boots. He said, I can't move. You can't move. He said, what's the secret? He said, you see? It's not about necessarily the boots in itself, but how you use those boots.
How do you use your tools?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that applies to everything in life.
100%.
You know, you can have the most basic tool, maybe a pencil and a piece of paper.
Yes.
And you can do amazing things.
You can write a masterpiece.
Exactly.
Yes, and some people can have the greatest technology,
and they do nothing, just to admire. Oh, how beautiful that thing is. And they cannot do anything.
Just put it back in the box.
Put it back in the box, and you know. But that happens, and I think stories like that always have a lesson, and that's what I liked when we heard so many stories from the the grandpas and the uncles
Yes.
and their friends and everybody got together. There was no issue attached to it. It's just plain beautiful stories.
I love it. I imagine that some of those folks, those storytellers, were inspiring to you as well, like the people, the kind of mentors that you looked up to them. Is that true? Did you have mentors around you that you looked up to as you continued going in your direction?
Yes, there was a professor, my professor. His name was Jose, very common name in Latin America. But Professor Jose, he believed that everybody individually had the potential to create great things. Everybody.
Yes.
It's not that one gift was bigger, but it's just how you manage that gift.
Yes.
Or how you manage those skills, or how you discover those skills.
Yeah.
I don't think people come in a box like, oh, you can only walk straight and that's it. I think humans have immense ability, potential within, and they can do a lot of things. When you create a video game, you put abilities in your characters, right? So if they are in a certain situation, they're gonna pull out a trick to get out of that situation.
Yes.
Well, the same thing is for the humans. It's an imitation. See, a video game is an imitation of the ability of a human. That's how it's created.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when we see that, they say, hey, that's what God did with us.
Yes.
He put abilities, he put things in situations. So that's why he doesn't intervene in you like every day. No, he gave you free will. And the reason he gave you free will is because he wired you to deal with situation.
Yeah.
You know, and so people don't discover that. And if people don't discover that, then they think they're playing, that they're the end of life, they're not good and everything. But everything, all those abilities, my professor used to say, hey, you just have to believe in yourself.
Yes.
And take the step.
Yeah.
The Film Hub is the future of co-working right in downtown Vista. Get energized to go to a safe work environment that is clean and sanitized. Create video content, live stream events, and all of your marketing material in our audio and video facility. The Film Hub. Do your best work here.
Announcing the all-new podcast from the Vista Chamber of Commerce. Velocity is the Vista Chamber's new podcast. Bi-monthly, you'll hear interviews from Vista's movers, shakers, and changemakers with host and chamber CEO, me, Rachel Beld. Tune in and get the latest developments around the city of Vista and get insight from those who have a direct impact on our city. Watch Velocity on YouTube or tune in on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Velocity, moving Vista forward.
Ignoring squeals and warning lights on your car is not a good way to lower the cost of owning it. And going without essential business insurance is not a good way to save money in your business. What we know for sure is doing either will cost you more than you will save in the short and the long run. With YourInsurancePlace.com, you can trust a specialist to help maintain your cars and avoid major expenses. Business owners should look to business insurance specialists when it comes to finding competitively priced quality insurance coverage for their businesses. At YourInsurancePlace.com, we specialize in workers' compensation, general and professional liability, employment practices and cyber liability, property owner policies, and bonds for most types of businesses. YourInsurancePlace.com knows that we can help. If you're uncovered, need to lower the cost of your current insurance, or need better coverage, we can help. YourInsurancePlace.com has been helping businesses for close to 40 years. If you need a quote on your insurance, call us now at 858-569-8100 or find us at YourInsurancePlace.com. We are business insurance specialists ready to help. Take the step, regardless of what direction that might be. Take one step further than you did before, and you might find a path.
Yeah, because some people, they're looking for somebody else to approve what they do. And they never do anything because they think the other person going to think he's a crazy guy because he's doing whatever he trying to do.
Yes.
You know, and that's what happened with everybody. Elon Musk, they say, wow, this guy is going to create a car that drives itself. He's crazy. Well, he knew, the same thing. If you look through history, all these people that really starting something, they didn't care about his neighbor thought of him.
Right.
He was going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's how you do it. You have to believe that you're doing is right.
That's right.
And you go all the way and do it.
Go all the way.
All the way.
So you remember what your first job was, like where you started working?
My first official job.
Okay.
After college. It was after college.
Okay.
So before...
You focused on your education pretty much all the way through.
Yeah, because before I was more into helping people. I was volunteer.
Okay.
Building houses, cleaning houses, as a volunteer, helping the people in the community. To me, that was incredible.
Yeah.
I wanted to be a doctor, really, because I love people, and I wanted to be there. And I was in the local hospital. I helped a lot, as a student. And the nuns there say, hey, someday you're going to be an incredible doctor. But still was not, and I like the people and everything. But it takes a special person also to be that, and
no doubt,
and it's also the limitation of an island to become a doctor in an island. It was a very difficult time, but you think through all of that, and you think about your career, you think about what you're gonna do, but you help people. It's a big option for you when you're young.
Absolutely,
because
it builds character too.
Yeah, it builds character. And you transform the life of people because you're not expecting anything in return. When you help somebody who doesn't have anything, you're not expecting anything in return.
I love that. Say that again. Yeah. When you help someone who doesn't have anything,
you don't expect anything in return. So you just do it out of passion, out of love, out of concern. For example, you walk down the street, you see a homeless, and you say, he scrambled to get a bottle of water. And I go to the dollar store. It's a dollar, a gallon of pure water, and you walk in just $1 and give it to that person. Feel that it you see the smile.
Yes,
it was very simple, But you did it, and you don't did it because you want to receive something in return.
Yeah,
that smile in itself is just
payment enough.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's how, when you do something with passion, that's what happens.
That's right. Yeah. So that first job, what was the first
job? My first official job was a supervisor. I started with a production company.
Okay.
Yeah. And that production company, it was difficult times and didn't go too long. But then I received a call from Universal Studios Orlando. And that was the same week when they were opening. And there was one position that they were looking, and they have interviewed a lot of people. So I drove up there, saying, okay. And they still were putting the palm trees. And, everything looked like, wow.
Brand new. You were there at the inception.
And they told me, you want to work here? And what is it? I said, well, the position is production consultant. Oh, yeah, because... this is Universal Studio. It's not just anything.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm ready. So I have gone through college, and I have finished my my master's degree as well. After that,
tell us about that first before we get there, because I know where we're headed now.
Yeah.
And I love this story because I remember this. So you told me this Universal Studio story before. Tell me about education. Tell me about how college was and why you were did you obviously mentioned one good professor.
There is a connection to what happened. I had to mention that when I was about 12 years old, I was watching the only television set in the barrio, and it's a black and white in the little shop, candy shop, and I'm looking up, and there was a commercial about a beer, local beer. It was very popular, Presidente beer. It was the prime product.
Okay.
And I was looking, and it was made in cartoon. For the first time, they were doing this commercial in cartoon. So, and I looked and I said, someday I'm gonna do that. Out of nowhere, I just say that. I know I'm gonna do that. And somebody, as I was watching, somebody came from behind and hit me in the head, and it froze me. I didn't even look back. And this is the word that I would never forget. He said, only the rich and white can do that. You don't. And I don't put that as a, I took it as a challenge.
Right.
Yeah. Because that person said, you can't.
Yes.
And I never look back, and I have this tear coming out of my eye just looking at the screen.
Yeah.
I was glued. I didn't even look back to see who that person was. But you fast forward later, I am in an airplane going to the state to study precisely production. From the island, I applied to I don't know how many different universities. And all the universities were saying, "Oh, how much money you have to come to our university?" I said, in one I put $50. No, I don't have any. Because of the reality. So I sent it, and I received 3 acceptance, and one of them have 100% scholarship.
Uh-huh.
Because of my service to the community, they evaluated everything, and they said, "No, you should be able to have a shot."
Yeah.
So I came and studied. Then I applied also to go to grad school. I was accepted by 4 grad school.
Okay.
So, but I have something different. It was not so much about grad school or what you wanted to study. So I ended up settling in going to Virginia at the Christian Broadcasting Network University. It was today it's called Regent University.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because I had studied theology and cinema in undergrad. And I wanted to do especially in cinema for my grad.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do stories also.
Yes.
Biblical story, drama, human-oriented, family-oriented, comedies,
Makes
things
sense.
that make people live.
Yeah. And that sounds natural to you.
Yeah.
That's your style.
And that's I graduated from that, and then I moved to Florida, and that's when I received that call for Universal Studios. So I went there, and they said, "Okay, we're gonna give you a shot." That's what they told me. That's office right there. We're not gonna pay you anything. You have to demonstrate that there is a market in Latin America for Universal Studio Orlando.
Right.
You have 30 days to bring the first project. And I just looked and said, okay, I take the challenge. And I drove every day, I didn't live in Orlando. I live in Tampa. So I drive from Tampa to be on time. And for free, going in to make my phone calls and try to bring project. It wasn't not even 2 weeks into it. I got my first project in. And you would not believe what the project was.
What was it?
Presidente Beer.
Yes.
You see, it was a full circle. Not that I really went after that because my emotions and everything. No, it just happened that everything lined up, and that was one client that was looking to do a big commercial.
Yes.
That never been done in the Dominican Republic in the way they wanted. It was all visual effects and flying bottles and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that was my baby. I mean, that's visual effects.
Yeah.
So that was granted, and that was the first project. And from then on, everything was just a lot of projects.
I love it. So now let's do the reveal. Producer, director, filmmaker, writer, cinematographer, internationally known. That's right, shooting films in multiple countries and multiple languages, creating narratives for almost 40 years. Check the IMDb of our guest today, owner of ESAR Studios, Elias Acosta. Yes. So, I mean, that's just an amazing story, that presidential day. I mean, I've heard it maybe 3 times, and I love it every time. It always has me on the edge.
It is one of those, because sometimes people put their own limits. When they have a full potential, they put the brakes on themselves. And, you're in a country like United States with opportunity. I mean, and I don't say that lightly. Okay. If you want to do something, you can do something. There is no other country that can offer that opportunity like here. And I say that, and I would challenge that because I have seen it.
Yes.
I've seen it in my kids. I've seen it myself. And, you have tools that are available to you from community college to, I mean, if you go to a public library here, that's the favorite place sometimes for my kids and myself. Sometimes we go there and we look through books, and you take it home. You can read. Not many countries have that available.
Right.
They have it. You go in, you sit down, but not like here. It's part of the system. And as simple as it sounded, but every community have a public library, right?
That's a good point. Yeah.
But sometimes people take that for granted.
Yeah. You have all these resources around.
Resources, a lot of resources, but people take it for granted. And
Tell us about being behind the scenes. What you made the decision to, be behind the camera, not in front of the camera. You're a handsome gentleman. You could be in front of the camera if you wanted to, but no, I mean, you are a storyteller, and I want to hear just a little bit about why you chose the path that you chose specifically.
Growing up in the Dominican, my father was a preacher.
Okay.
Not a pastor, not a ministry, a preacher.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have high education or anything. He just learned how to read and write.
Yes.
At the second grade school. But one thing that he said, you never limit yourself. That's always he told me. And he would take me when he would go to the mountains and to the little countryside with a projector showing a lot of the biblical story. We would project in 60 millimeters. We would take a little generator and put it on the donkey and go up there and show it.
Okay.
And, when I started seeing what the effect of that on people was, I knew there was something bigger about storytelling and people identifying themselves with situation on the screen.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, I said, maybe that's what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that was later, I was maybe 14. I just wanted to do that. And that was something that we did. And we used to tell story now using candles behind a box, and we would put paper like
shadows.
Shadows,
okay.
And we would use that. We would gather the kids, and we would do that, growing up. But seeing the film in front of people from the countryside out there, they looking at the story of miracles in the life of people, or so many things. It changed the attitude of some of the people. It changed their way. Just a story, simple story, well put together. When they see what happened, the redemptive power of a character, through a film, what happened in the life of that person, then people can relate to it, and you can see the change. And I said, that's something.
Yes.
Because you can touch the emotions. I mean, you can do so much through it. The problem is that we are being hijacked by very shallow content this day.
Sure.
Entertainment. Not to go deeper than entertainment. You go, you look, a lot of jumping, a lot of visual effects and everything, and you go home, but you're empty. I think film do have a soul. It should have a soul. As much as that sounded like weird, but there's an intention in everything that you do.
That doesn't sound weird.
It should have something to move you. To tears, or to laughter, or to get mad, or identify yourself. There gotta be some technology, something happening in your brain that have connected with that screen, with that story, with that character, with that situation.
Yeah, send you home thinking about something too.
Yeah. And so I think that's the big challenge still today, because a lot of people are shooting film, but even the big guys in Hollywood are shooting film that you go and you say, wow, 200 million burn.
So tell us about that, though. I mean, you've worked with the large studio machines too, right? I mean, what's actually going on over there when they're putting together these big budgets and I guess obviously it's just about making money.
Yes, money is a big thing, but when they want to go for an Oscar, they take it more serious. But if they're going to make money, people go and follow that because that's what it is.
Right.
I mean, it's entertainment. People, it's okay.
Yeah.
Let's shoot another Black Widow. We go to watch Black Widow. But what happened? That is different than any of the other movies. It's just shooting, and that's it.
Yes.
And you go home, you don't remember the movie.
Right.
So Because it's followers. So, a lot of followers. I say, oh, I saw it, and then discuss things that didn't even were in the movie. They just making things up. But it's just pop culture.
Sure.
That's what happened. But I think when in the studio, the system, it's a system. It's a financial system. They're going to do what is right for the business of it. And I don't blame them because they're in the business of it. See, some people say, oh, Hollywood. They think it's about the movie making. The movie is just a product. The system is what is behind that, the move to make that movie, which is financial. It's a financial system.
Yes.
And if they're not going to make money, why would they make a movie? Even if the story is great, they don't see the value of money in it because maybe not many people going to go to see it. They're not going to make it.
Yeah.
They're going to do the thing that is going to be profitable. And that's okay. I mean, if that's your motivation, well, that's your motivation.
Now, so many people are telling stories nowadays too, though, right? I mean, just people just down the street, they can shoot films on their iPhones. They're, social media. These are, they're considering themselves writers and actors and directors of these little things that they're putting together, whether it's a 30-second snippet or, a few minutes or whatever. And so this might actually be a larger version of that, right? Yeah. Just like you said, pop culture. What do you think about all that, and how do you deal with all of that?
Well, I think in order for you to really take it seriously, you have to really put some time into understanding how that media works, how the whole structure of a film works, scripts and lighting, because it's a combination of things. Sure. One thing is you play with it and you record something and send it over. And another thing is to really have the intention to do something great. Now, being said that, I know that a lot of people have great ideas because a lot of people are very creative and young people are doing stuff but have followers of millions.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's because it's quick pop culture, it's in. So we want to be.
And we have such short attention spans now, too.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. So it's okay. It's not going to change. We're not going backwards. That's, if anything, going to get more and more and more stuff out there. If you choose to do that, do it well.
Yeah, do it well.
To do
right.
That,
yeah, because
well.
You and I have had conversations. We talked about like the Oculus and virtual reality and all of that kind of stuff. You keep up with technology.
Well, that's the one thing that you have to. In any business that you're in, you got to keep up with what's coming. You have to be able to project where things are going 10 years from now. Because every information they're giving to you now where things are going. Yeah. It's just that we are not reading it right and applying it right.
Right.
We're going to where, remote control, if we understand that little box in your head, it's going to disappear, right?
Sure.
Because now you're going to have an insert a little bit in the back of your neck, and you can control your television set and turn off the lights and everything. Things are happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can have a tattoo in your forearm, and that's the control for everything in your house. That's already that's not the future. That's in development right now, and some people are already playing with that. So we know where we're going. They implant. The new frontier is our brain, and everybody don't care about the body. They care about the brain, and now they're going to tap into the brain so we can manage things from the brain, directly from the brain. Looking at a screen and blah, 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 but the brain is processing things. So that is already, Oculus Quest 2, I have one of them, which, it's fun. You get your headset and forget everything. You create your own reality.
Yeah.
And you are happy doing that. Be yourself in your own little world. Well, but humans are social beings, entities. You need other people. You have to talk to other people.
I agree. Yeah. As a business person, I agree.
Hi, I'm Jeff Fox, founder of StarFox Media. We're a digital marketing and video production company that focuses on serving small businesses here in Vista, California. We have the team and all of the equipment necessary to produce, film, edit, and distribute your podcast to as many people as possible. For more information, you can reach out to us via email at info@starfox.media or give us a call at 760-385-3117. Let StarFox Media help you tell your brand story today.
We'd like to introduce our listeners to the A Different Day Radio Network. We know that you listen to podcasts or you wouldn't hear this. Have you ever thought about creating one of your own? Chances are you have. So what's stopping you?
What will I talk about?
Who's going to hear it?
How much does equipment cost?
Should I do audio and video?
Get these and more questions answered with the A Different Day Radio Network. Launching a podcast is easier than you might think, and you can have it produced professionally with the help of A Different Day Radio. Contact them at adifferentdayradio@gmail.com. A Different Day Radio, because you have something to say. You know, I just wanted to make sure that the narrative was clear, that you weren't just sounding like, these new guys, they don't know what they're doing or anything like that. It's not just like an old person just saying, oh, the new technology is not telling the story. These stories can be told within the newest technology as well. Yeah. So you are keeping up.
No, I'm keeping up because I just finished shooting the principal photography all virtual with Unreal Engine, which is a game engine to shoot my movies.
I love it.
And that's what is in.
Yeah.
And everybody going there, even the big studios are going in Mandalorian and all that. A lot of big amount of Lion King and everything. A lot of big amount of those shots were done in Unreal Engine. So, and that's a tool that is in the hands of everybody. Mm-hmm. You see, so it's not I guess it's in the hand, making its way in the hand of the people, that people can, it's a lot of free software, completely 100% free software that you can have at home, that you can do an incredible movie, free, completely free, and from editing to 3D compositing to, you name it, it's all. Wow. And those suites are available because they wanted people to really, in the new generation, to learn how to use it, Yeah. And so if that's where we're going, we had to embrace it, but we had to manage it.
That's
also.
Right. That's
so
true.
We, with responsibility, being responsible for those resources that we have our hands, let's
Sometimes
use it.
That's the tough part.
Yeah, because that's what I like. The young people, the student, we can take it by the hands and say, listen, you are so incredible with this tool. Why don't you develop your own? Even your future is right there in front of you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what we should do. We have to invest in the younger generation, not fight them, because that's not.
Right.
There is no change. We are not going back. Period.
Yeah.
So we have to work move forward with the young generation. Right. Some people say, "Oh, video game, blah 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 blah." You see all kinds of stuff. No, video game. The kids. I know there's some violent thing. There's some study this and that, but I don't know who paid those studies anyway. But because I never put brakes on my son, there were some games that I would say, well, when you have a certain age, you can then play. How to absorb that information. But today, being at home, he created his own video game, and it was published in Steam, and he did it.
Wow.
And I remember the day that he was going to publish. We gathered together as a family, and we did a little prayer, like, God, here goes.
Yes.
Boom. So it was like a family moment.
That's amazing.
And I remember that.
That's amazing.
And my son now is in a big studio in Los Angeles doing work,
That's wonderful. And I was thinking about, you were talking about Hollywood earlier, and you're talking about the big studios in Los Angeles. You are a champion for filmmaking in VISTA now as well. How did that come about and why?
Well, I moved into this area in 2006. I was called from the Dominican. I was in the island with a production company there, doing television commercials as well. But then I received a strange call one day. Say, listen, we have this and this and this and that. We need a director for this movie, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to fly you in to talk about, possibilities. But they sent me a script to see how I interpreted the script.
Okay.
And depending on that, they will give me the job. So they had interviewed already 20 directors. So I was number 21. So so I went in, and all the investors are sitting in there, and they want to listen. Well, do you read the script? Yeah. And so what do you think? And so I gave my version of it. It just had it has a little part in there that was, since it was a thriller of a Catholic cardinal coming from Rome to investigate the death of his brother in Tijuana.
Okay.
And the one that was going to receive him was a nun, a young, beautiful nun. They're going to receive him to take him and investigate. So everybody was just waiting for the moment to say, what about the relationship between the cardinal and the nun?
Uh-huh.
And I said, what about, in the script, whatever. So the script is clean, and I don't think anybody had to mess that up. And I said, oh, do you think the cardinal will be tempted? And I said, well, you have to understand how that works. In reality, and under the theology and the teaching of the church, I'm not a Catholic, but I understand those things. Said that nuns are married to Christ, and they have a ring that represents that. Mm-hmm. And anything less than that, it will lose its soul. This movie will lose its soul if you go that route. Mm-hmm. And everybody look at each other and say, the only one that didn't put, of all the directors we interviewed, the only one that didn't go that route was you.
Right.
So, and that movie was never made.
Oh.
Because the producer didn't agree on something. I don't know. Everybody wanted money. And,
sure.
Greed is a big thing in this business. So, they'd rather kill the project if nobody got what they wanted, their piece. It was a great story. I still have the script. I hope someday I can shoot it.
Yes.
And that took me here, and then I was called to head the DMC CCM Center, which is a film company downtown San Diego. They called me if I can develop the film division. So I went, finished that contract, and stay. I love the area, VISTA. Good. And I always thought that VISTA, Escondido, all North County would be a good place to do films.
Yes.
Los Angeles is so crowded, and it's a different culture up in Los Angeles. Here we have more of a feel of a town, and we can make something work very nicely here.
Yes.
And I think that's why I really, really put a lot of effort into.
You really have. You really have. It's been amazing, just the conversations that we've had, and hearing you speak about VISTA and just San Diego County in general, bringing film.
Yeah, and you don't do it by yourself. I think, Jim and Lauren, they were key in implementing this.
Tell us about that, the genius of the Film Hub.
Yeah, because, see, what happened, we were working together in a little office, and we always talk about the future and how things happen and everything. So we started talking and dreaming. Way back 10 years ago.
Okay.
And one day, Lauren overheard Jim and I discussing, what's the future of the film, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And she come and say, hey, I have a plan for you guys. I said, what? Yeah. Why don't we create a center where people can come and do their movies. You guys can concentrate, do your movies while they... I said, let's go look for buildings. Just out of the blue. So we got up out the car. Beautiful morning. I remember we driving around, and we came to this building.
Yes,
and that was the building. And it's a beautiful story of how believing, just believe, pure belief, make things happen.
Yes,
and I think there's a special grace when that happens. Even maybe those who believe in God or not believe in God, I respect that. But if you believe in God, you might be, when you do something crazy at work, God is just smiling at you and say, I know. I put all that information in you. And he said, I was right in creating you. You see? So, because there is always something greater than us. And I think in order to jumpstart who we are, we need a lot of power to jumpstart that. That's how big we are.
That's right.
You see?
Yeah.
So a big engine, you don't start with a little battery. You have to put a really big battery and boom, there we go. Well, that's what happened in the life of people. They can be so big, but they also need something to rely as a power of energy to move things forward. And
100%.
No limit. You can accomplish anything.
That's right. That's right. And for those of you guys that don't know, the Film Hub is where we do this podcast. And it's just an amazing creative space. There's so many great people around here. And there's just so much, that you have access to. So many great resources and all. I absolutely love it here.
Oh, yeah. The same. And the official at the city of Vista, they believe in that was possible. They didn't laugh at us. They listened to us.
Yes.
Yeah, And we started working, and so working together back and forth and everything. And now it's time to move to the next phase of it.
I love it. And, also bringing jobs and opportunities, to the community and promoting growth and all of that. It's beautiful.
That's why I want to, if there are some education plans and something, we would like to promote educating our own kids here, that they can be video gamers, they can be directors, they can be writers. We need the local people to incorporate themselves and say, let's see this grow. And I think it will happen.
I think so, too.
Oh, yeah.
But see, that's, you have that great sense of community, and that started way early for you, and it's obviously hasn't changed.
Yeah. Well, I really learned a lot from that, and I'm really passionate about. I think passing on the knowledge to the next generation is key.
Yeah.
It's key for any survivor, any civilization, any society. If you don't pass on your knowledge, then they die.
Right. And you had some greats before you, probably, that you studied and not just the people in the community, but even filmmaking greats.
For example, Bruce Logan, AAC,
Okay.
See how life is, I'm from an island in the middle of nowhere. He's from England, and he's a big, with Stanley Kubrick shooting stuff and Star Wars, Superman.
Sure.
All that. And we became friends. I mean,
Love
it's
it.
like, and to this day,
Yeah.
In fact, we shot many commercials together, and also my little film that we did, Jim and I, we did the film Refuge from the Storm, and he came from LA to here in Vista, and we shot that,
Right.
And see, you need other people as well. You cannot rely everything on yourself.
That's right.
You have to, I mean, this is an effort of everybody, and we have to be thankful to those who came before us and those who are with us, and those who will come.
Yes.
And those who will come is because of you, because you pass on that, and they become greater even than you.
Right.
They will.
Right.
And that's what you want to see.
See, that's the kind of speech that you should give in a couple of weeks when you receive your Lifetime Achievement Award. You have a Lifetime Achievement Award. I read about that one. And then you just showed me about this announcement today, a TMIF Impact Award for Outstanding Achievements in Technology and Science in Independent Film, and the AOF Lewis Mitchell Award for 2021. That's what you'll be receiving in Las Vegas. What does that mean?
Well, I mean, you don't look for those things, and people recognize. They look through.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened, 2 years ago in Rome. And they did a search, and they called me out of the blue. Hey, listen, we would like to fly you in to receive this award. And the thing is, sometimes it's not what you put in the big screen and everything. It's what you do, the little thing with the people. For example, I spend a lot of hours at home. Sometimes just understanding, the whole thing on optics. So I have 200 lenses, and I take it apart, put it together, put light through. I want to distort how that, things like that. And how, when I have an opportunity, I apply that to whatever I'm shooting, and it worked fine. So, you dedicate a lot of that. But open to technology, to me, that's a big thing, too.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't see that as a threat. I see it as an incredible, making it more, opening new door to apply what you know already.
Yes.
And it can even make it better. When digital came, the people in film, I used to shoot everything in film, 35 millimeter, Panavision cameras, big thing.
Yeah.
And I remember the discussions. Everybody, that never will be like film. Never going to get there. It took just a boom. And it was there. And everybody see the technology is so stable now that you don't worry about cameras anymore. And you just say, oh, yeah, which camera I'm going to use,
Yeah.
It's just that.
Yeah.
You don't like that,
Yeah.
You're not so, and there's still people that say, no, the old time was
Hold on
better.
to it, yeah.
Everybody will say that the old time was better, right? Everybody will say, oh, no, we're doom, and before it was before, and blah, blah, blah. But I think every time is good. It's something gets messed up by something, but I think that time is a constant.
Yes.
As you go, and things gonna come and go, but
That's
time
right.
continue to go.
That's right.
Continue to go forever, and we have to adapt and
You grow with
embrace.
the times. You gotta grow with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, business lesson number 794. Let's do another business lesson. That's 2 in this episode. That's a record. Surround yourself with people that see things differently than you do. If everyone on your team grew up hitting fastballs, how will your business do when the curveball comes? Elias, I'm not in your field, but I am inspired by you daily. Your energy, your spirit, your humility, your vision. To show up consistently each and every time that we talk, and it is really a pleasure to have you here today. Really.
I appreciate it, and I really do enjoy talking about him because I think inspiration is a big thing.
Yes,
and
sir.
If we listen to each other, we hear, we learn from stories, and we put it all together, it's a treasure. It's a treasure, and I think everybody have some good story somewhere to tell, and it's gonna help somebody.
That's right.
So never underestimate the other person, and teamwork is a big thing. So one time we were shooting a movie, and that was a situation where we could not get something figured out, and I have all the brains around, and there is a little guy that's passing the water to everybody. Says,
Okay.
I think. Can I say something? And when he said, there's a little thing that I have here that if you hang it this way and that way. And everybody look at each other and say, God, how come this guy had the solution there? Say, never underestimate everybody. As long as you're human, don't underestimate it. It doesn't matter what color of the skin, where it coming from, what language you speak. Never underestimate a human being.
I love it.
Never.
That's it.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. 100%. Contact information for Elias. I want you guys to look him up on Instagram at ELICINE, Elicine1, and LinkedIn at Elias Acosta. Okay, and check him out on IMDb as well, guys. Catch up because Elias isn't stopping.
In fact,
He's seeing 10 years ahead. Oh yeah, you told me about some good things. I'm gonna miss you when you're out in Kenya, but look forward to seeing everything when you're coming back. Thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to Same Business, Different Day. We truly appreciate your support. Please like, subscribe, and leave a nice comment on all platforms. It really helps our show. The Same Business, Different Day podcast is produced by A Different Day Radio, StarFox Media, and James Russell.
This was a production of A Different Day Radio.